Welcome back to the Knick-Knack Review. I'm your host, Clint the Knick-Knack, and today we're talking about What If Episode 3. Let's get started. So in this episode, we get the scenario involving Iron Man 2, Thor, and Incredible Hulk. We take a look at all of their origin stories, but of course with an incredible twist that what if none of those origins ever happened? How does it affect the Avengers? And also it asks the question, what if the Avengers were never created? What if something happened to them that prevented the Avengers from ever forming a team? This was a really, really great episode because it started out in a very mysterious way. Now, I will warn you, there are spoilers ahead, so if you haven't fully seen it, go watch the episode before and then come back and watch this. So the episode starts out with Iron Man in Iron Man 2 scenario where he's on the in the donut on top of the donut shop, and Nick Fury and Natasha meet up with him. Well, she gives him the edge to take off when she injects him in the neck, and then he just faints. He collapses, and he turns out he dies. But it wasn't until they go to Thor, where Thor's hammer is, where Coulson was in that movie. And in fact, Nick Fury is there. Now that Iron Man is dead, he has no reason to not be over there or to be over there. So he actually is there present when Thor is trying to take his hammer back. And you have Hawkeye there as well doing his normal thing. And he goes to take a hammer and Hawkeye is up there. He has his arrow drawn. And all of a sudden, he lets go and he shoots Thor and kills him. And Hawkeye's like, oh, whoa, it wasn't me. And so now I'm thinking, okay, is it Loki? Like, is he kind of like infiltrating the team way before they become a team? And is he like manipulating them or whatever? So Barton gets arrested, and then while in the holding cell, he dies. Then the scene cuts to the Incredible Hulk in the movie where he's at the college and General Ross and the military find him, and they basically attack him, and the Hulk retaliates. Now, this was not only an interesting scene because of that, but you actually saw Mark Ruffalo reprising his role as Bruce Banner and the Hulk, but with Liv Tyler in the scenario from the Incredible Hulk movie, rather than Edward Norton. Now, that already to me was a what-if scenario. What if Mark Ruffalo was in the Incredible Hulk instead of Edward Norton? I'm not here to talk about who plays a better Hulk or anything, but that actually is what I would like to see just based on continuity levels. And so only a few cast actually reprised their roles, but this one was actually different because, and it was very weird, but you saw the Hulk going through the entire scene just like in the first movie. But then you see him, like, after he grew and hulked out, he like started growing even more and more and more like a balloon. He just pops. He explodes. And it's kind of, I wouldn't say grotesque, but it's just very like, what? It's like he would have hulked out to his max. So after all of these events, Nick Fury kind of pretty much figures it out. Now, one thing is, all of this happens before or after Thor is banished, but Loki is still Loki. Nothing has happened to him yet. So he actually comes down with an Asgardian army and basically tries to conquer Earth, but he's talking to Nick Fury, and Nick Fury's like, whoa, look, we have a common threat here. Let's work together. We are not enemies right now. And Loki's like, oh, wait, no, you are not my friend. And he's like, whoa, let's just try to find this common enemy, and you can have Thor back. So Loki agrees. Well, Nick Fury, I mean, being as smart as he is, he figures it out. Come to find out, and again, spoiler, it has been Hank Pym this whole time. So what happened was, you have a scenario basically where you see what a man can do when literally his hope is gone. So the scenario happens that Hope Van Dyke, she actually died, and Hank blames Fury for it. We already know Janet is gone in the quantum realm, so he has nothing left. So he decides, you know what, I'm going to take my revenge out not only on Nick Fury, but I know what he's planning. I know he's planning an Avengers team, so I'm going to take it out all on them. So Hank ends up being the one responsible for killing Iron Man, Thor, Hawkeye, and eventually Black Widow. And it was actually really cool to see, for a second at least, Loki play somewhat of the role of the good guy in that particular timeline. Now, in the Loki series, you kind of see him as an anti-hero, then he kind of like becomes one. But in this scenario, you see Loki way before all that, working together with Fury to take down Hank. Then once everybody figured out it was Hank, they showed him actually what he was doing, how he made the Hulk explode, of course, what he did with Hawkeye's arrow, and how he killed Iron Man, then Black Widow. It was really cool to see that what if scenario, like what if they all died, how would they have died, and it really made the Ant-Man project in general shine. So towards the end of the episode, after Hank is captured, Loki takes the opportunity to actually conquer the Earth because there's no Avengers around to stop him. Fury thinks he's off, with Thor, and he goes, no, you know what? I think I'm going to stay for a little bit. And then, bam, he conquers the Earth. I think it was like a day later, and he announces to the world, by the way, I am Loki of Asgard, and I am the ruler of your world, and so bow to me. Now, this whole story was actually really brilliant because it showed what can happen when one simple scenario can have a butterfly effect on the entire world. You don't get Ultron. I mean, you don't get, Avengers 2, 3. When Thanos decides to do his conquering, he's able to do it because there's no one to stop him. Now, towards the end of this episode, we actually see Fury find Cap's shield where Captain America is actually buried. So he's still alive. He's still waiting to be discovered. And as he's doing that, he says, "Hey there, Captain." And then you hear Captain Marvel's voice and they show her. So she's actually there. So now you have a completely new Avengers team. So technically, I guess the Avengers will exist just in a different form. And according to that, there's only 2 members so far. I thought this was a really smart episode because not only did you get to see a what if, but you got to see several what ifs and how it will have that huge effect on the Marvel Universe as a whole, at least in that particular universe. As within the last 2 episodes, the cast that actually do return, they all sound great. It's nice to hear their familiar voices and reprise the roles. The animation is always on par, and of course the storytelling is brilliant. I find with each episode of these what ifs, they keep getting better and better, and I find that all of these TV series on Disney Plus that Marvel produces, that is always the case. Each one gets better and better. Even if you didn't like the first episode, you're going to like the next one, and then the next one, and then the next one. I got to say, Marvel does have a hold on the TV shows, so look, what you're doing is great. Don't screw it up. All in all, I really thought this was a great episode. There's really not a lot to unpack here, but I think, again, these episodes get better and better as they go along, and I'm anxious to see what they're going to have on the next one. Well, that about does it here, guys. Let me know in the comments below what you thought about this episode. Let me know any Easter eggs that I might have missed, and let me know what you'd like to see in the next one. And while you're there, don't forget to, well, you know what to do. As always, I am Clint the Knickknack, and I will see you on the next one.